Hashmi and I am your maths tutor. Welcome to our intermediate part 1 math series. Today is the topic properties of equalities and inequalities for the real numbers. And this topic is the continuation from the previous topic. Okay? So if you have any confusion, then you have to go back and watch the last video. So let's get started with today's lesson, which is properties of the real number with equalities and inequalities. First, I'm going to explain you properties of equality. I'm giving you a quick review about these properties. So the first property is the reflexive property. So as the name explains, reflexive means it is same. Okay, so we have one element from the real number which is same to its own. And the second property is symmetric property. Symmetric property and the reflexive property have the same connection. But reflexive property is for the single element and symmetric property is for two elements. Okay, what we have to do? We have to take any of two elements from the real number and just show that both of these numbers are same. And third property is transitive property. As the name indicates, trans means to change. Trans means to change the shape. So what we have to do, we have to take three elements from the real number and we have a connection between them. A equals to B, two elements have a connection, and the second and third have also equals. If I am going to write both of these relations like this, A equals to B equals to C. So can I make a relationship between first and third element? Yes, right. So first element is equal to third element. Okay, now let's move for the fourth property, which is additive property. It is quite different from the addition law because in this case we have three elements and we have one statement, A equals to B, and we have to add the same number on both sides of equality, and it will not change, it will not give any effect to the equality. Okay? For example, we have an element equal. What we have to do, if I'm going to add third number as 1, what we have to do, A plus 1 equals to B plus 1. As the number is same, so it will not affect the equality. Okay, so the fifth property is multiplicative property. Again, similar to the additive property, if we have a connection between the two numbers, A equals to B, and we have to take third number and apply the multiplication on both sides, it will not change the equality sign. Here comes the last tricky part, cancellation law. What we have to do in cancellation law? Cancellation law, we can operate on two operations, addition and multiplication. So I have given addition over here, and you have to do it by yourself with multiplication. I am giving you a time after this. Okay, so we have three elements from the real number and we have a connection. A plus C equals to B plus C. A plus C equals to B plus C. So how we can cancel C? Right, by adding additive inverse. Okay, so the first C element, we have additive inverse minus C. Okay, so I am going to add negative C on both sides as it will not change. Right. So what will happen over here? When you are going to add additive inverse to the element, it will give you additive identity. Right? 0. Additive identity means 0. So for additive identity, when you are going to add additive identity to any element, what will happen? It will not change on both sides. So we have cancelled C on both sides. Right? Now I am giving you a time, you have to do it, cancellation law with multiplication. Okay, you have to take similar steps. Just do it. Okay, look. Now we have done with multiplication. So hope you have the same steps. A multiplied with C, and now I am going to multiply with multiplicative inverse on both sides. And when you are going to apply multiplicative inverse to any of element, it will give you multiplicative identity which is equal to 1, right? Now when you apply multiplication with multiplicative identity, it will not change the element and hence it's to be. This is about the cancellation properties for which comes under the inequalities. We can say order properties. So we have first property, trichotomy property. Trichotomy property means we have any three of states any three of states between two real numbers. Okay, either the number will be equal, either the number will be greater, either the number will be lesser from another number. Okay, so trichotomy means three states. Any of the state exists between two real numbers. Second property is transitive, as the name shows change. Okay, and I have already discussed with you. So we have three numbers and we have two states. Okay, either the number is greater than or either the number is lesser than. So if A is greater than B and B is also greater than C, can we say this? A greater than B, A greater than B, and B greater than C. So we have a relationship between first and third element, which is A greater than C. On a similar steps, we can do A is less than B and B is less than C. So if we are going to make a connection between them, what we have to do, A is less than B and B is also less than C. So what will happen? The connection between first and third element is A less than C. It means we have changed the state, we have ignored the part B. Okay, so the additive property, it's case, we have two cases over here. So case one is similar to the properties for equalities. What we have to do, if A is greater than 1, if A is greater than B, if I am going to add a similar number on both sides, inequality will not change. Okay, if the numbers are greater with each other. So if I am going to add the positive number, so it will not affect the inequality. If A is less than B and I am going to add positive number on both sides, inequality remains same. Okay, now let's move for the case 2. If A is greater than B and C is greater than D, so what will happen? If I am going to add the greater number with each other and smaller number with each other, either it will greater or lesser. What you have to do? So for this I am going to explain one example. A is greater than 1, right? Similar to A is greater than B. And I am going to take another number which is 4 greater than 3, right? So we have two numbers relation. If I am going to add two greater number, what we have to do? 2 plus 4. Okay, and adding three smaller number over here. 2 plus 4 is 6, right? 1 plus 3 is 4. Now you have to make a connection. 6 is greater than 4, right? So if we are going to add two greater number, on the other side, if you have to add two smaller number, the inequality remains same. Okay. Now you have to do it for this part. A is less than B and C is less than D. You have to do it by yourself. Okay, now let's move for the multiplicative property. We have three cases. If A is greater than B, then you have to multiply the positive number, so the inequality remains same. Okay, but what will happen if two numbers are positive and one is negative? Okay, so if inequality have A is greater than B and you have to multiply the negative number, so inequality reverse its sign. Okay, for example, we have 2 is greater than 1, but if I am going to multiply minus 3, what we have to do? 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. We'll reverse the inequality. 1 minus 3. Right? So it will reverse the sign. But if in case the third number is also positive, so inequality doesn't change. A is greater than B, C is greater than D. So the greater number multiplied with one side and smaller number multiplied with one side have the same sign of inequality. So hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you have any confusion about this, you can ask me. Thanks for watching. See you in next lesson.